Welcome to the Milk and Cookies podcast. This is the super amazing podcast that has absolutely everything to do with American football and nothing to do with milk and cookies. My name is Alex. We are joined today with Leon, Anthony, and our guest today, Cowboys Super Fan, Mr. Steve. Just got done finishing a Cowboys breakdown of the season so far and a little bit more than that. So that should be up hopefully by this point already. So, gentlemen, started off week 14 was possibly one of the first weeks that we saw playoff implications being mentioned. So just going to go around the horn right now. What's one team do you believe right now is not going to make the playoffs? And when I mean team, please don't say like the Lions or the Jets. I mean like a good team that you think is going to miss the playoffs completely.
Buffalo.
Leon.
For me, the Saints.
The Saints. All right. Steve?
Washington.
Washington's a good one. They just ended their 4-game win streak against the Cowboys. Saints, that's clear. Now that they don't have Jameis, I'm a firm believer that they probably won't win a game. Buffalo, Anthony, is a good one, and honestly, I'm with you on that.
Just looking at that game from Sunday, They just couldn't. Besides us almost blowing the lead, they just couldn't. They couldn't produce points.
I mean, they did good. They made the late afternoon games interesting because they had 2 games that went into overtime. Yeah. But I'm with you. Buffalo in the last 6 weeks has been 2-4. They don't look good anymore. But then again, they're not the only team right now that's not necessarily looking good. Just going over, we had the Thursday night game. We had Pittsburgh at Minnesota. Shout out to Pittsburgh for having that fantastic comeback in the fourth quarter. Fortunately, they didn't get it. Though. What?
It wasn't enough to get the win.
No, I blame Claypool for that. How do you waste 5 seconds like that in the fourth quarter? You guys
I was at work, so I barely watched the game.
Leon, Steve, you guys didn't see that game?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I saw highlights of it, yeah.
Yeah, but you saw Claypool like 30 seconds left and he does this little celebration and waste. Oh, that killed me. I was upset.
Don't celebrate too early.
I mean, if you're going to celebrate, just don't make it within 2 minutes of the fourth quarter left, you know? I mean, he cost his team a chance to win that game, let alone go to overtime. Let's see. Next game was the New Orleans game. Were we really kind of seeing that the Jets were going to win this game at all? Did anybody have any belief in the Jets this week? No, Jets are kind of right.
Only because it's New York. New York just fails consistently in the NFL.
MetLife has 2 horrible teams right now, which is kind of bad.
I mean, New York did see one win this past weekend. Army-Navy game.
Oh, I completely forgot that was there.
That's about it.
That was a good game.
Who won that game?
Yeah.
Navy won.
Really? Wow.
Navy was the underdog.
Well, yeah, they were 3-8 going into the game.
Yeah. Army I was rooting for Army.
It's always a fun game. That's one of those couple games that I can't really pick a side, but it's a good game as always.
Go Air Force.
Go Air Force. Let's see. And we had a NFC South divisional game. We had Atlanta at Carolina. That game was kind of interesting. I think Cam Newton is done. I think we kind of already established that. I don't know why he's still in this league right now, let alone a starter. I see Nostalgia would probably be the only thing. Probably trying to hopefully revitalize that 2015 season where they went 15-1.
Yeah.
I just don't see him. I don't see him starting. I don't see a point in that game anymore. That team. They started off 3-0. They looked like one of the front runners for the NFC, and now they're 5-8, going 2-8 in their last 10 games.
It was just their strength of schedule. Just the beginning of the schedule was weak. That's it.
Yeah. Similar to the Broncos. Well, the Broncos started off 3-0. They're still in it, but not by much. They're hanging on by a thread. Let's see. Seattle-Houston was actually a really good game until the fourth quarter hit. There's at one point Davis Mills was 12 for 12 with 140 yards and a touchdown.
I didn't get to see any of the 1:00 games because I was working, but I just saw the scores.
The 1:00 games were good. There was
surprisingly.
There were 2 1:00. Well, actually, I'll say what. There's 3 1:00 games that were nail biters.
I know the one you're talking about. That was a blowout.
I wasn't saying no. I'm saying nail biters, like close ones, not.
Yeah, blowouts. I know. I'm just I'm preparing for the Raider one.
Baltimore at Cleveland. That was a really close game.
Lamar got hurt.
Lamar did get hurt, but but Baltimore had that onside kick, and on 4th and 6, you do a 2-yard slant route.
Horrible.
It was a horrible choice to play. The other game that was close, that was a blowout that came close, was the Dallas-Washington game.
I was rooting for Washington.
I knew you were. That's who you picked last
Sounds
week.
about right.
Sounds about right? Yeah. That's who you picked, but you weren't the only one to pick Washington last week, Anthony. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You were the only one to pick Washington last week. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, you had a good reason for picking Washington. They looked good at that point. Heading into the game,
they made it interesting. They made it interesting.
They were 2-6. You win their next 4 games. Heineke looks like a starting quarterback. You play against Dallas. The next thing you know, Heineke's 2 for 11 for 19 yards and an interception.
Yeah, Dallas is the better team by miles.
By a mile. Oh my goodness. That was like the length of 15 football fields line side by side of how much Dallas was better than that team.
That was a study in how not to go on autopilot at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how embarrassing is that you pull your starting running back Ezekiel Elliott out of the game because you're winning so bad, and then you give up so many touchdowns, you got to put him back in. That's, as a coach, you should be embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
You should put the players in that are going to hold your lead, not the players that you need to see what they're going to do.
Which heading into that miraculous 4th quarter attempt comeback, I will understand why McCarthy did that. The Dallas defense was holding Washington to no points. It was a complete shutout. Then they score a touchdown. They go for 2. They get the interception. They get another touchdown. And the next thing you know, they're 1 score away from winning. So right. I will say Dallas ended that game perfectly fine, but they should not have allowed that many points to be scored. Yeah, in that short amount of time. They still pulled out with a win. They won against the team that was their only threat for the divisional title. Now Dallas only has to win against the Giants this upcoming week, and they clinch the East. Similar fashion, the Packers need to win this week, and they clinch the North. I'm assuming it's the same thing for the Bucs at this point.
We need the Rams to. I want the Rams to lose out, preferably, so we get the 1 seed, so we get home field advantage.
But what's needed for you guys to clinch the division?
I think just a win.
Yeah. So
because we're sitting at.
You guys are 9-4, 10-3.
We're 10 and 3. We're 10 and 3, and we got the Saints this weekend, which I hate. I hate the Saints. Just throwing that out there.
But isn't it at Tampa Bay?
It's in Tampa, yeah. I'll be working that game.
It's at Saints Tampa Bay against a banged-up Saints team. I mean, so that's 3 teams that can win the division this week. And the only thing is
the Saints. Oh, that's the night game.
That's the night game?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We got the Saints, the Panthers, the Jets, and the Panthers.
So 4-0.
Wow.
So 4-0 is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Poor Jets.
Hey, that's what they get for drafting Zach Wilson. That's all I got to say.
Hey, was it me or was I the one that said Mac Jones was going to be a good quarterback and you didn't believe me, Alex?
I did not believe you because he was an Alabama.
Not a lot of people thought that on my side of the world either, but he's shown us all up.
Mm-hmm. No, he did. I was not expecting anything from Mac Jones just because of Alabama's history with prior quarterbacks. And I know I'm saying that with a grain of rice because the Dolphins have Tua. But just Mac Jones, I mean,
he proved something wrong.
I will admit I was wrong. But in college, he had a loaded team around him. I didn't expect anything from him. But you know what? I was wrong. But Alabama produces recruits in every other position. Notoriously, now they've had 2 hits at quarterback, that being actually 3 if you include Jalen Hurts. So,
hey, mark my words though, next year USF's going to win the conference.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Nah, man.
I'm not too sure.
We're going to win the conference. I'm calling it.
From 2-10 to conference winners?
Yeah.
I'm not too confident about that one.
We got 6 new teams joining the conference.
Yeah, but that's like Rice.
So what? That's an easy win.
You'll be fine. Let's see. So yeah, Anthony, let's just kick the bucket now. Kansas City Raiders.
Don't even get me started.
That was.
Thank God I did not watch it.
You were extremely lucky to not want to watch that game. So it's a shame.
I was working and I just checked the score, and it was like first quarter already.
Yeah,
it was abysmal.
Josh Jacobs 2-yard outside run, ball got punched out, returned for a touchdown. And then there was the other fumble and the interception. It just, you know what, man, like I hate to say, like I've said it the past couple of weeks. Back of the half season Raiders are a team that you always want to play.
Yeah.
Because they
we started off strong. Don't get me wrong.
You guys started off 5-2. I mean, that's a heck of a start for any team. 5-2, and
then John Gruden gets fired. Well, the only positive of this, we actually won a game on Thanksgiving.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You
did.
You got to give it to that one. They won.
Yeah.
But so I was gonna do this with Pooh Bear here, but since Pooh Bear isn't here, I got my mom a doggy Patrick Mahomes jersey for him. And I was gonna pull him up in the jersey. Like, look, Anthony, it's the guy that beat you. And it was Pooh Bear wearing the jersey, but he's not here, so I can't do that now.
There's always next week.
Yeah, no, there's like 1 hour from now where I have to go get him. But so aside from that, that pretty much rounds out most of the 1:00 games. The teams on bye this week were the Eagles, the Colts, the Dolphins. And the Patriots.
Yeah.
Jacksonville at Tennessee was abysmal. Urban Meyer should not be a coach anymore. He deserves to be fired. I
give Trevor time.
The Jaguars organization hates him. The players hate him. The coaches hate him. Urban Meyer is a menace in Jacksonville. Look.
Oh, after this, I got to take for y'all.
You got a what?
I got an interesting little tit for tat.
Okay. So, look, going into the season, I did not have any hope for Jacksonville. I did not see them making the playoffs. I did not see them winning more than 5 games. But this team...
they're sitting at 2-10 or 2-11.
2-11, exactly. This team is shooting well underneath my expectations. Trevor Lawrence,
Houston this week,
which could be the only game that they could possibly win the rest of the season. But even then, I'm still going to take Houston and winning it because of how Houston played against Seattle.
I'm taking Jacksonville. They beat Buffalo.
Okay, they beat Buffalo in a score that was 9-6, which was honestly a trap game.
What do you think about Spencer Rattler going to South Carolina?
I think Spencer Rattler is a crybaby, and I think he's not going to make it in the league.
No. I had hope for him at Oklahoma.
Yeah, but now Oklahoma is falling apart with Lincoln Riley leaving.
And now because I'm a Clemson fan, I just hate that even more. Carolina has no hope.
Anthony, the Clemson fan, while Leon and I both sit as FSU fans, with Leon actually sitting in FSU gear right now.
No nation.
If Frankie was here, he'd budge for me.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's in Clemson.
He's in Clemson right now.
And his sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Abby.
Let's see. Okay, here. Steve, I got a question for you because since you're in the NFC, well, you pay more attention to the NFC than the rest of us do. Well, maybe except for Anthony. The Lions. I mean, because you're a Bucks fan. That's what I meant. So, did you think that the Lions had a shot to win this week at all?
No, not really. I mean, I they're always the underdog, and I always kind of root for the underdog if I'm not rooting for my Cowboys. And you got to love their coach. He's such a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he shows that every week, and especially after that shooting they had in their state, they did that tribute to them after the game, and you know I want to see them win, but I just don't see them being anything other than the Lions for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just bad.
Yeah,
they have Arizona this week, and then you got Atlanta the next week.
Yeah,
I don't see the Lions. You know what? I did say that they were going to win one game this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to put my foot down, and I'm going to say that's the only game that they win the rest of the year. Now,
who's the top quarterback coming out in the draft next year?
Oh, goodness.
No one good.
There's honestly the draft class going for
Malik
next year is not that good.
Out of Liberty.
There's Matt
No,
Corral.
they're projected to get the defensive end from Oregon.
Thibodeau,
Yeah.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, Sam Howell, maybe.
Sam Howell,
No.
potentially.
Sam Howell's dropping. That's what I've heard.
Well, yeah, because UNC kind of did not perform as well this season. But the thing is that like there's been a lot of quarterbacks that they didn't have the greatest surrounding cast, and they were still drafted in the first round.
They're saying, I heard Kenny Pickett might go to Atlanta.
I'm not a big Pickett guy. He
goes to Pittsburgh. This one has a Detroit taking the defensive edge out of Michigan.
Which one?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson's another one. He'll probably be the second one right after Kayvon.
But he'll either be he'll be one or two.
The problem with me is I really think that Jared Goff, and I know I'm gonna get crap for this. I think Jared Goff could maybe be a serviceable quarterback for the Lions.
They have the first quarterback going in the draft at 11, the Philly.
And who's that?
Matt Corral out of Ole Miss.
Corral is the only quarterback that I would maybe argue that had any starting potential, but even then, this quarterback class is weak. I mean, look at this past year's draft: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields. Look at the year before that: Joe Burrow, Tua, Jordan Love, Herbert. 3 out of the 4 of those are starting right now, and 3 out of the 4 of them are fantastic. Well, Jordan Love's the backup, but still, I mean, look at those 3 quarterbacks from 2020. They're starters. They're doing great for their teams. All AFC teams, but they're doing great. Even look at the past quarterback draft class. Trevor Lawrence, if he had a better team around him, I feel like he would be better. Or I think if he had a better head coach, he would be better. Zach Wilson, to me, I never really had any high hopes for Zach Wilson. Trey Lance.
I mean, okay, hear me out on this. You got Jacksonville playing the Jets. Next week, I think. Who wins that game?
The Jets.
Do you see it being close?
I mean, maybe their touchdown to interception ratios being close, but I don't really see. I don't know. I think the Jets are a more complete team than Jacksonville, but even then, that's not really saying all that much.
If we're doing a way too early off-season prediction or whatever, or a mock draft, Jacksonville goes O-line in the draft.
Jacksonville should trade away their first-round pick for a head coach.
Dan Mullen to Jacksonville.
Dan Mullen couldn't make Florida a success. You think he's going to?
He made Florida a success for a couple of years.
They went 6-6.
That was this year. What about the other years?
They went 6-6 for an SEC team that was ranked at one point in the top 10.
Yeah, fair enough.
What happened the last time that the state of Florida drove a pro football coach back to the college ranks? Anybody remember that?
Yeah, he went crazy. Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And who'd he coach?
Be careful what you wish for.
And he coached for the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Saban is a traitor, and he will never have a special place in my heart, other than the fact that he gave us Tua. Other than that, he's dead to me.
He didn't have a choice though. Like everybody wanted him fired.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fair, but still, he just abruptly left.
It was unceremonious.
Hey! Sure. I'm a Tampa fan. I've been through hell and back with coaches and quarterbacks.
You know what? No, here. You know what, Anthony? Thank you for bringing that up. Leon, you know exactly what I'm going to ask. Steve, when Jameis Winston was on the Bucs, whose fault was for their horribleness? Was it the head coaching or was it Jameis?
Jameis is a bust.
I'm not a big fan of Jameis, honestly.
Thank you.
I'm look what he's doing in New Orleans. Until he has a body of work in New Orleans where he's stayed healthy and put together a winning season, I don't have much for him.
He's a bust.
Look at the other guy that came out when he did, Mariota.
Mariota's a backup. He's a backup now, but my argument is Mariota at least took the team to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that Jameis needs to put together some more work before anybody says he's an above average quarterback.
Okay, so that question backfired.
103 picks in 63 games. How do you argue that?
Head coaching.
Lawrence is on his path.
No, that is not head coaching.
Uh-huh.
That is poor decision making.
So
as soon as he got drafted in Tampa,
mm-hmm.
he said he's gonna win the Super Bowl first year.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to, I forgot the restaurant, but he goes to a really nice restaurant where it's like dress pants, dress suit. Homie shows up in shorts, slides, and a t-shirt and tries to get in.
Yep, that's the FSU style right there.
You can do whatever you want. What does that matter?
Still, but if the dress minimum is dress pants and dress shirt, shouldn't you show up in that?
If you have enough money, you can do whatever you want. That's what I stand by.
I think that we're not gonna. You can't judge his character by going out of dress code to a restaurant. You judge his character about whether he beat the crap out of his girlfriend or got arrested for DUI or whatever. I think that that little infraction is nothing. That's like saying he didn't push his cart back into the cart corral at the grocery store.
Hey,
Who cares about what he went to dinner in?
Well, speaking of grocery store, he did steal the crab legs from the Publix up in Tallahassee, and he was charged with that.
He didn't
then throw him in jail.
He didn't steal them. They gave them to him, man.
No. He stole them.
I went to school with Ryan from St. Pete, who was there.
Dude, I will never forget the day that I realized that the Publix that I shop at in Tallahassee was the same one that James Winston supposedly stole crab legs from. And the first thing I did was I called my dad and I said, Dad, I shop at the Publix.
Crab legs.
Exactly. I'm going to go pick up some crab legs. So, okay. Back to the weeks. San Francisco at Cincinnati was actually a much better game than I thought it was going to be. Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was a flashback. Yeah. Flashback game. Let's all play like the Super Bowl from 25 years ago and reenact the Bengals losing. They just can't beat the Niners. They can't beat them.
It was a good close game.
I mean, a good close game, but the thing is that Cincinnati needed this win. Same thing that San Francisco needed this win. San Francisco winning this game proved that they're going to be 6th seed in the wild card unless something bad happened. Cincinnati is now currently on the cusp of not even making the playoffs.
Yeah, they won't.
Didn't Kittle had a big game in that game?
Kittle had back-to-back huge games since coming back from injury.
Yeah. So
San Francisco is a team that needs to be feared properly because when they're healthy, they're a menace. But the problem is that since they're not, they're always injury prone. I mean, they had Nick Bosa. They tore his ACL last year. Half their defense was gone. And now they had Kittle out for almost the first 8 weeks. And now he comes back, and in back-to-back games, he puts up a touchdown and almost 100 receiving yards.
They're a problem. They're good. They're a problem.
All right, wait. I know. I just thought of this question. It's about head coaching.
Okay.
You know how Eric Bieniemy is supposed to get a head coaching job, hopefully one day?
Mm-hmm.
That's just hypothetically. It's the off season. You're Jacksonville. Clean house, everything. And there's a lot of teams looking for a head coach. Who does Eric Bieniemy go to? Does he go to the Raiders or Jacksonville?
Raiders.
Honestly, I think the smart move is to go to Jacksonville.
You're just saying that because the Raiders are in the Chiefs division.
No, I'm saying that because it's the smart move to go to Jacksonville. The Raiders, here's the thing. The Raiders are in a position that it's in the same way that John Gruden came into when they fired Jack Del Rio.
I was a fan of Jack Del Rio.
But the problem was Jack Del Rio consistently made it to 500 seasons. He couldn't get to the next level.
He took the team to the playoffs.
Yeah, but then again, he couldn't go further than that.
But then you had one losing season.
And you get fired. Well, because that's just how they run the league, man. And that's the thing that I feel like with Bieniemy. It's the Raiders are in a position. The Raiders are consistently in a position that they are always guaranteed to make 500, no better, no less. Bieniemy goes in there, and he's probably going to do the same thing that Gruden did. He's going to get rid of their best talent for draft picks. They're going to try and rebuild the team from the ground up, and it's going to be right back to the 800, right back to the 500 season.
Or Bieniemy comes in there and gets some Kansas City players to sign with the Vegas.
Absolutely not. The divisional in the division.
If he offers more money.
If he offers more money is of course the key thing, but I doubt that. I think going to Jacksonville is a smart area. You're going to have a quarterback in his second year, and not just a quarterback, the number 1 overall draft pick of the 2021 draft, who was rumored to be one of the best quarterback draft prospects to ever come out of college. you're going to have a team that is so desperately needing talent that they can't fire you after your second year if you're still in a losing season.
And you get Travis Etienne back.
You get Etienne back. You get to rebuild that team through the draft, through free agency. Jacksonville has $60 million in cap space right now.
They're going to make a splash.
The thing with the Raiders, and no disrespect to the Raiders, Anthony, but the Raiders are in a position that they can maneuver their organization very little because of money and just how well built that team is already right now. Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr is at heart of that offense.
Hunter
Renfro's been a beast since he got drafted last year. I will always be surprised with Hunter Renfro.
No, he's been in the league for, I thought, 2 years.
2 years? I thought it was. Yeah, this is his second year. Or is he?
Oh.
It's either second or third year. I don't remember.
He should be
Watson, yes.
One.
But I think by going to Jacksonville, Bieniemy can make the team his own. He can make the own culture because everybody's going to want to get rid